been playing Jesus for 500 years. Like literally.
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't look anything like Brad Pitt.
You can identify everything but the children of God. I need my people to wake up and understand that this is a propaganda.
The curse of the Pharaohs are a poor example of what wait for the plantation.
Beware false prophets who come dressed in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves.
You black man!
He that stealeth the man.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
I want to say shalom and blessings to all of my brothers and sisters, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Elohim and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh Mashiach came, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever and ever. Hallelujah and amen. I want to say shalom to everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a blessed morning, blessed afternoon, and having a blessed evening as well. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High first and foremost for all of his goodness, all of his grace, for giving us knowledge in this day and time, giving us the insight and the discernment to know the truth, and for granting us the spirit of knowledge so that we could choose the things that is pleasing to him. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge, a few people. There are a few people who, I don't know how to put it, but kind of under the weather right now. I want to send some prayers out to the brother Banya. As well, you also know about the brother Cleo. He's coming back to 100%. But I want to pray for the whole family, during this time, because we're living in a time where, things is sort of ramping up, things is getting complicated everywhere with this, with the what going around. A lot of people are being affected one way or the other, and so my prayer is that the Most High will keep our people safe and protected in this time. What else? There was a brother who passed maybe a day or two ago. Well-known brother in the Hebrew community. I didn't know him too well. I just heard about it, and the cause that I heard of was that he had been sick for a while, and so upon hearing that and hearing a lot of our people coming down and dealing with the weather and everything, my prayer is that the Most High would guard us in this time, and more than anything, that our faith in the Most High would be in the right direction. It'll be rooted, that our faith is rooted in the truth. These are the times when the enemy is really active and moving full steam with the things written in prophecy, and so with that being known, we want to make sure that we're constantly believing in the Most High and in his word, and that, he delivers on the things that he says in his word as pertaining to his people. Want to shout out the chat. Shalom and blessings to the brother Sean. Hope all is well. Hope you had a blessed day. Marcella Smith, shalom to you. Hope all is well. Sister Yvette Rivera, shalom to you. Jason Camphor, Brother Jason, shalom to you. Hope all is well. Brother Darnell Blackshear, shalom and blessings to you, my love. Nisi Lewis, shalom to you. Ellen L. Israel, shalom and blessings to you. Hope you're doing well. Rochelle Yah's daughter, shalom and blessings to you. Somebody was asking about you the other day, sis. They said you was MIA. And I told them I saw you maybe a few lives before, but hope all is well with you. Sister Paula Lawrence out there in Australia, shalom and blessings to you. And also, I hear about things out there, beefing up. And so the most we can do is keep one another encouraged and in prayer, If it has to go beyond that, we have our emails, where brothers and sisters can reach out in that manner. But shalom to you, sis. Glad to have you in the chat. One King, one love, shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Katrina Brown, shalom to you. Hope you had a blessed day. Observant Deprogram, shalom and blessings. She said, I'm here, okay. That's good to hear. All right. So I want to say shalom and blessings to my Salt of the Earth Productions family, Brother Bunya, Brother Cleo, Brother Kadar, my brother Yash, my brother Hal Goodwin, and shout out to my brother Shofar over at the Jacob's People platform. Brother is building up a nice fellowship over there. If you haven't subbed to that channel, feel free to. It's Jacob's People. I believe right now the brother has a fast going on, a 40-day fast. You can chime in on it at any time, in fellowship, and get more information on that, about the fast that's going on. I think that's a good thing to do, in this time. Set a day and afflict yourself in that way before the Most High, if you can do that, but in any case, we should still be in prayer and in fellowship and in meditation of the Most High, His law and His word, Shalom and blessings, set apart heart. Hope you had a blessed day. Hope all is well. We got a interesting convo today dealing with religious contention among the Gentiles. And let me see something real quick. All right, I got the link in the chat. We're going to be dealing with religious contention among the Gentiles. And the reason I'm bringing this out is I came across a couple of videos that I want to share with the family tonight. Some quick videos, but very interesting to say the least. And one of the things that I want to highlight is the contention. One thing we see amongst Israel, we see a lot of contention amongst Israel. Shalom and blessings, Image of Shiloh. Hope you're doing well. You say, may Yah cover and keep his children, blessings and healing to Brother Bunya, Cleo, and anyone who needs comfort and healing. The wicked one is wilding out. Amen. Definitely. Shalom and blessings, Brother Jason Philip McCauley. Hope you're doing well. Glad to have you in the chat. But one of the things we see a lot of contention in Israel over different doctrines, different beliefs about different things. Shalom, brother Yash. Hope you're doing well, bro. But there's a lot of contention in Israel over different things. And one thing we hear a lot, or we hear sometimes, is that, you know, we shouldn't contend as Israelites, you know, because we don't want the enemy to see us contending and not agreeing, in which I can understand the spirit behind that and the notion behind that. But what I'm going to show you tonight, based on these videos, is that a lot of the contentions we face, particularly in our time, you know, are the same contentions that the Gentiles face amongst each other. You know, we can go all the way back in the Bible to show how our people were always in disagreement concerning who the Mashiach was, mainly that, and you know, who salvation was for in terms of Judah and the northern kingdom. You know, Judah was envious of the northern kingdom being reconciled back into the family. And so those were contentions during that time. In our time, our contentions are more intricate in terms of us being separated, you know, from that time that they were in. You know, their contentions were different from ours to a degree. Nowadays, you know, the contentions are over who the Jews are, you know, who the true Israelites are, whether Mashiach existed or not, things of that nature. Whereas back then, they didn't have those contentions. But in any case, contention is sort of the fabric of how things are put together, you know, especially in the time that we're in, you know. And so what I want to show you is that just like Israel contend with each other, the other nations have religious contentions with one another as well. Shalom and blessings, Dominique Wells. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Glad you could chime in. Shalom, Sister Sheila. Hope all is well with you. Prisoner of Hope. Shalom to you as well. Hope everybody had a blessed day. Hope everybody is staying warm as possible. A lot of cold fronts came in different places. So, you know, that may have, you know, hit some people the wrong way, caught some people off guard. But, you know, we pray the Most High, like I said, keep us safe, keep us strong, you know, and keep us shielded in this time. Shalom, my brother Smitty. Shalom and blessings to you, bro. Hope you had a good one. So I want to get into some of these videos because these videos are going to sort of give us some of the backdrop that we need. All right. This first video right here. All right. This video is dealing with two men, sound like they're over in Europe, maybe Australia, something like that, just based on the accents you're going to hear. But in any case, you're going to hear one of the gentlemen express that a Jew is someone who is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then you're going to hear another gentleman rebuttal him by asking him, was Abraham a Jew? All right. And this is a quick video, but I'm going to play it a couple of times just so we can get a good backdrop. But give me a second. Hold on.
A Jew is someone who is born from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob.
Talking nonsense.
He hasn't read the book.
Do you believe Abraham was a Jew?
In the Bible, it says, I am the God
Do you
of
believe Abraham was a
Isaac,
Jew?
and Jacob.
Do you believe Abraham was a Jew?
The tribe of Judah, there's no J in Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
The tribe of Judah.
Yehuda.
That's where we get the term.
Do you believe
Jew.
Abraham was?
I believe he was a Hebrew.
Was he a Jew?
In one sense, yeah.
The answer is no.
No, in one sense, yes.
No, in no sense.
Open your ears.
In no sense.
In every sense.
In no sense.
He was the father of the Jewish people.
Sense.
You're talking nonsense.
No, you are. You're talking absolute crap, mate.
Shalom to my brother Shofar over there, Jacob's people. Just finished chiming in over there. And that prayer you gave, man, was powerful. You know, that scripture reading too, Psalms 35. We may do a run back on that at the end of this. But like I said, if you're not subscribed to Brother Shofar and Jacob's people, now is the time. Go over there and hit the sub button and the notification bell. And chime in on the 40-day fast that's going on over there with the brother in that platform. But this video, I want to talk about this. And I got the link in the chat. Let me see. I'm going to put it one more time. I want to talk about this because this highlights the fact that there is contention, you know, among the Gentiles who claim to be believers and Gentiles of other religions. All right, we're going to look at another video too. Shalom and Blessings, Sister Aniana Coleman. All right, but in this video, you can see the gentleman at the bottom expresses that a Jew is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The gentleman at the top, he's more so challenging him on the stance of whether Abraham was a Jew or not. All right, which if you were just to chime in on this discussion, just like we're doing, that doesn't make sense to be a rebuttal against what the gentleman at the bottom is saying. Shalom and Blessings, Sister Bornbo. But what I want to do is I want us to sort of try to figure out some backdrop. All right. The gentleman at the bottom is saying that a physical or that a Jew is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the gentleman at the top rebuttals him by asking him if Abraham was a Jew. All right. Now, I want us to guess what the backdrop of this conversation is. All right. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna let the brother Yash chime in. What's going on, my bro?
Yeah, shalom, brother E.
Shalom,
everybody.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I thought they was gonna start boxing out there. I can say that much. Sounded like a camp, almost.
Sound like they was about to do some of that Irish boxing, huh?
Yeah, it was about to go down.
But just listening to this, what would you say the real backdrop is? Because like I said, the gentleman at the top, his rebuttal didn't make sense, you know, like with us just chiming in right here. So let's play the guessing game. What could this discussion really have been about for him to respond in that way, in your view?
To me, you know, they're in Australia and they're a bunch of white guys, but to me, you know, it sounded like he was about to he was trying to bring about the truth of who we are as a people. I don't know, but that's what it seemed like to me.
British Israelism.
Oh, okay.
I may have heard that once or twice.
Hey, that's what got me started going into the truth. When they back in the 80s, British Israelism was real good, and they had a book, United States and Britain and Prophecy, and that's what really got me started, because I was reading that book. But the prophecies, like I say, they were really speaking to our plight. I don't know what they were talking about, but they were speaking about our plight. All the prophecies that they were pulling up.
Shalom and blessings, Sister Naba Kanaya. Hope you're doing well. Brother Chadro, what's going on? Hope you're doing well, bro. I ain't seen you in a while. Well, I don't know if it's that I haven't noticed you in the chat in a while. You've been kind of silent, but hope you're doing well. You know what I think with this video? I think that the gentleman at the bottom, and this is just my guess, he may have been speaking of salvation, and salvation is of the Jews. And now he's breaking down what a Jew is. A Jew is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So now the gentleman at the top is offended, and his response is more so based on the faith of Abraham, which when you deal with Christianity, everybody believed that they're of the faith of Abraham, right? Or that the faith of the being of the faith of Abraham supersedes you being a Jew in the flesh or a physical Israelite, because they still don't know who the Israelites are. But I think that may be somewhat the backdrop in this. Could I be wrong though?
Nah, you're probably more right. After you said that made all the sense in the world to me. Now you got I guess they call themselves Ephraim, so I guess you got Ephraim
Yeah.
arguing against spiritual Israel.
Shalom, brother Rupert McDonald. We trying to find out what the backdrop is to this video. Let me play it one more time. Hold on.
A Jew is someone who is born from Ibrahim, Isaac, Jacob.
Talking nonsense.
He hasn't read the book.
Do you believe Abraham was a Jew?
In the Bible, it says, I am the God
Do you
of
believe Abraham was a
Isaac,
Jew?
and Jacob.
Do you believe Abraham was a Jew?
The tribe of Judah, there's no J in Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
The tribe of Judah.
Yehuda.
That's where we get the term.
Do you believe Abraham was?
I believe he was a Hebrew.
Was he a Jew?
In one sense, yeah.
The answer is no.
No, in one sense, yes.
No, in no sense.
Open your ears.
In no sense.
In every sense.
In no sense.
He was the father of the Jewish people.
Sense.
You're talking nonsense.
No, you are. You're talking absolute crap, mate.
Hey, brother Yash, look, the dude at the bottom looked like, the dude in the hat, right?
Yeah.
He looked like he was finna call the other dude a 2/3 Negro or something.
Yeah, for real.
But then look at this though. He said a Jew is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Mm-hmm. And then he asked him, do you believe Abraham was a Jew? Right? And so what if he would have replied with no, Abraham was not a Jew? Just by your guess, what would have been a follow-up response?
Shoot. From my guess, let me see. What would he have said? Shoot, I thought he did say something. I thought he said, yeah, Abraham wasn't a Jew, but Abraham was a Hebrew, but he still called Abraham a Jew. So I don't know.
Yeah, he said in one sense, yes.
Right.
Then he said he was the father of the Jew, or the tribe of Judah.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that was probably the backdrop of this conversation. Because when you talk about the faith of Abraham, you know, that's something that's most commonly talked about, you know, in the common religion. That's one of the things that people use to supersede being one of the chosen people.
Right.
You know, if they say I'm of the faith of Abraham, right? But the Bible tells us that faith come by hearing and hearing come by the word. So if we are of the faith of Abraham, what was the faith of Abraham? What was it? What was it based on? What was the tenets of the faith of Abraham?
Well, Abraham's was based on his on the righteousness of the Most High.
And
Because
so
Abraham obeyed.
exactly. And so because Abraham, our forefather Abraham, he had faith. He did what the Most High told him to do. The Most High entered into a covenant with him. All right. And so through that covenant, he said that all nations of the earth shall be blessed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So all nations meaning what? Because he said also, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying all nations meaning what? Because he said also that he was going to make a full end of all nations.
Mm. Yeah, because I was going to say all nations wherever we were scattered in. Because he scattered us to the four corners. And the only reason why they got blessed is because we've been in there.
Let me see something. I think I want to check something out real quick. Okay. Since we talking about the faith of Abraham, let's look at it a little bit. The 4th chapter of Romans. It says, let me get my. It says, what shall we say then that Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh, had found? All right, so the father pertaining to the flesh. All right. So he's talking to, when he say Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh, he must be speaking to more people who are the descendants of Abraham according to the flesh. Whoever he's talking to is a descendant of Abraham according to the flesh. What shall we say then that Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh, hath found? For if Abraham were justified by works, he had whereof to glory, but not before Elohim. What are the works they talking about right here? If Abraham were justified by works, he hath whereof to glory, but not before God. What works?
Those are the works that well, in this scripture it was pertaining to the works of the law of Moses. But Abraham was before the law of Moses.
And what works in the law of Moses? Is it talking about keeping the law?
Yeah.
For instance, if if the law says thou shalt not steal, right? And I don't steal, is that keeping the law? Is that a work?
That's a good one. Yeah. But see, that's where the extra books come in. Because you know what? Let's break it down. Is it yeah, I need to pull it up. I think it's in the book of Jasher when it spoke on the death of Abraham and his testimony was that he had set up a meeting place and he fed and he clothed and he preached righteousness everywhere to everyone who entered into his house. And it said during the lifetime of Abraham, the whole world, everyone in the world was saved during the lifetime or taught of the Lord, we call it saved, during the lifetime of Abraham.
Yeah, that's in the Jasher.
Yeah, that's in the book of Jasher, speaking on his death.
So check this out. Even with that example, right? Abraham did that by faith, right?
Yes.
So the Bible tells us faith without works is dead. So what works could we be talking about right here in Romans 4? You telling me the Most High won't justify you by feeding the poor and preaching the gospel, giving them clothes, giving them food, making sure they have what they need, and then encouraging them with the word? You won't be justified for that?
See, those are what you call the works of faith. And that's why he said Paul's teachings were hard to be understood, because keeping the law is the works of faith, because it shows that you believe in the Most High. That's why we keep the law, because we believe him. Our ancestors didn't believe, and that's why we're in captivity.
Yep. Watch this. He said, what said the scripture? Abraham believed Jehovah, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. So what works could Abraham have been doing during that time that didn't justify him?
Wow. That's a good one.
He said, but to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justified the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. What works are these talking about? If faith without works is dead, why is he saying to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justified, his faith is counted for righteousness with no works? Don't he tell us in And that's in Hebrews, ain't it? Faith without work. That's
James.
James. Yeah. Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
But to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justified the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Whatever works these are, can't be talking about the same works that go along with faith.
See, I remember in Christianity, and I used to I've told someone before, I said, I was explaining the law. Actually, I think I told my pastor. I was breaking down the law. I said, see, we preach against the law and saying it's not of works. I said, but everything that we do is a work. So, and what I mean by that is trying to do the works of righteousness without the law is unfaithfulness, because you're trying to work your way in by doing what you think or what you believe that you know to be right, while at the same time justifying yourself why it's okay for you to walk in disobedience.
And I see what you're saying, you know, and that will fit perfectly, you know, with what we see today.
Right.
But the Bible tells us that the righteousness of the law was made manifest without the law, and it was witnessed by the prophets. Speaking of Abraham, because Abraham wasn't given the 10 Commandments.
Right. But though he wasn't, the life that he lived gave us a model of the 10 Commandments. It was, in other words, they lived it without having it. The law was written in their hearts, and it was patterned after their lives.
And so the righteousness of the law that Abraham lived was based on the faith that he had in the Most High. He believed the Most High. What did he believe?
He believed that the Most High was, in other words, that the Most High was the creator of the heavens and the earth and everything that there was in it, and that there was no one else. He hadn't observed anything that compared, because he took his time and he observed the people around him. He observed the idols and everything. He observed nature, the sun, the moons, and the stars, and he concluded that all this that I observed is above everything else that there is. So he sought out that one, because he knew that only the Most High, in other words, he knew that this, he says, everything I see was created by something. And the something that I see, that is what I want to worship.
So during Abraham's time, he lived during a time when idolatry was rampant in the earth. And so he came up, you know, in idolatry. He practiced it up until a certain point, and he converted over because it said that he was seeking the Elohim of truth. And if you read, I think it's the Apocalypse of Abraham, it said that Abraham invoked the Most High, the God of creation, through his righteousness.
Right.
Because he was seeking him so strong, like how you see people doing rituals and all that. And I'm not saying that that's what he did, but I'm saying that through his actions, he invoked the Most High the way that you see people invoking spirits. In other words, he got the Most High's attention.
Right.
So through that, and it's not ironic that when you look at Abraham, he falls in a long lineage of men who led from the Most High to Adam all the way up to Mashiach, showing you that Mashiach, or that the Most High has a lineage in the earth that traces all the way back to him.
You know what? The deep thing about this thing is that this is how you know that you're Abraham's seed, or you're following in his footsteps. Because, and I'm talking to all of us, those of us whom the Most High has awakened to the truth of whom we are. Because we come up basically in a world that is still full of idolatry. And at one point or another, we've all been involved at some level. As the scripture said, there's a way that Yvette throwing up these questions. Yes, Yvette. He said, but didn't Adam and Eve teach their children about Yah and their life in the garden? Yes, they did. They handed it down. I'm getting there, though. Listen. The point is that we went through an experience like Abraham, because through all of this that we was observing, and we might even went in on a deeper level, because he just deducted it, but we were in some serious spiritual bondage. But something told us, in the midst of all this, and in the midst of everybody doing all this, this doesn't make sense. So our hearts cried out. We did what Abraham did, and the Most High revealed himself. And this is how you know that you're his children. He revealed himself to us, and that's why we're able to have this discussion right now.
Yep. So I guess what I'm trying to do is establish the faith of Abraham to see if this is something that's sort of arbitrary and open to anybody, or is this faith directed at a purpose?
Well, and that's the point. It's not something open and arbitrary like anybody thinks. It's because if the Most High, he's even waking you up that you're his children, and this comes from a yearning that first starts in you. That yearning in you is what gets the attention of the Most High to say, that one's mine. You know, and if he's waking you up because you're a Gentile, he's only waking you up to be a servant. So you're either a child or a servant.
Let's
But
get a little bit more of this.
okay.
That's a good point. Because that's what I'm trying to establish in this 4th chapter, because it talks about the faith of Abraham. We're gonna run into it. It says, but to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. So now whatever these works are, right, they're connected to some justification. You do these works, then you're justified. Right. Now, when we read the law of Moses, what was it that justified you whenever you broke a law or whenever you sinned in ignorance? What was it that justified you? It was a sacrifice.
You're right. But that's heavy in itself, man. I'm seeing more. I'm seeing a lot in that, because that goes back to me at what I'm seeing. He said, but to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifies the ungodly. Because put it this way, it's like when we're saying, or when you know, when we're out there trying to reach our people to let them know who you are, you got heathens that'll be on the side and they'll scoff. But then you have heathens. And if you look at us as a people, see, it's hard for our people to come into the truth today because of the image of what we have ourselves is an ungodly people. But then you have heathens that believe that the Most High is justifying, in that sense, the ungodly, who are us, is his people. And they get it counted to them for righteousness. This is something.
And also too, we're gonna put in perspective who he's speaking to, who he's writing to. You know, as we read and get more details within the chapter. All right. So we see that to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justified the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Your faith in the one who justifies, right, by him shedding his blood, your faith in him is counted for righteousness. Even as David also described the blessedness of the man unto whom Elohim imputed righteousness without works. Righteousness without works. What is he talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
So you tell us in one breath, faith without works is dead. Now, to him that worketh, you know, grace is not reckoned to the one that worked, but debt, right? The one that worketh not, but believe is justified, you know, but believeth on him that justified the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Even as David also described the blessedness of the man unto whom Elohim imputed righteousness without works, saying, blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom Yahweh imputeth not iniquity. All right. Now, Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven. What is transgression? Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom Jehovah imputeth not iniquity. Cometh this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? For we say that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness, circumcision and the uncircumcision. All right. So basically, who was the circumcision during Paul's day?
Yeah. And see, my thing is, he says, for we say, who is we?
Which verse you talking about?
Same
We
verse.
say that faith.
We
was
say
reckoned.
that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. See, because this goes back down to the disputants. Because if you study Pharisaical thought, then you understand that there was even a disputing of their eschatology or theology back then. You know what I mean? It's different types of thought. But anyway,
Yeah.
You got to understand, and let me give these people my thing. Family out there, listen. Back, I had an issue even in my church days with the teachings of Paul. And my issue was, it shouldn't, when the Messiah taught, it was simple as a child could understand. His was too deep for me. So I kind of skipped over his parts and stuck more so with the law and the prophets. So even in this discussion tonight, I just want the family to know that, you know, I am learning, you know, I'm learning too, because like I say, it was a little bit, I'm one of those, it was hard for me to teach, so I just cut that class. Is that all right with y'all?
Hey, that's why we out here. That's why we reading this to understand the faith of Abraham.
Oh, now the faith of Abraham, I can get with, but under this kind of it's a lot of deep, because it looks like there's a division between the come this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also.
Yeah, and then Sister Born Bowl said, when you don't know, being scattered will make you forget your heritage.
All right. Yep.
You say the two kingdoms.
Mm-hmm. And we got to remember, a lot of our people during that time, it could have, because what we said, that was still during the time when Judah was vexing Ephraim. So it could have been a lot of also in our kingdom. Shalom, Rochelle Rob's daughter. Anyway, it could have been that because in the book of Maccabees, we also got to remember that many of the leaders made our people be uncircumcised. You know what I'm saying? It said they made themselves uncircumcised. So we got to go with the, that there was contentions amongst among those who was circumcised, thinking we got it because we're circumcised, and y'all don't have it because you're uncircumcised, or you're outside of the covenant now.
Think about this too. You had the northern kingdom who had already been separated, and you had 3 kingdoms that Judah had been through before they came to the Romans. Now, it was during that Greek period that most of the Jews were went through what was known as Hellenization.
Right.
Where a lot of them was forced to give up their heritage. They couldn't celebrate the days or keep the holy days. They couldn't identify themselves as Jews. They were being a lot of them were being killed for these things. So they went through all of that, and now here we are in the time of Mashiach and Paul, and he's saying what he's saying now. Cometh the blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? So who could he have been talking about when he spoke of the circumcision? Romans 3. What advantage then hath the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of Elohim. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Elohim without effect? Elohim forbid that Elohim be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. So, who is the circumcision?
Well, then he was calling the circumcision of the tribe of Judah.
Judah. And we know Judah was the southern kingdom.
Right.
So when we go back to Romans 4 and 9, cometh this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? Because you still had Jews. Somebody made a point. I think that was Image of Shiloh.
Yeah.
He said, to be more exact, those not keeping the law were uncircumcised, including the kingdom of Judah. Said most of the southern kingdom was keeping the law and was livid. Mashiach came to bring them back. Yep. That's why they said, whether will he go? Will he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Right. Mm-hmm. He was saying whether he go, you cannot come.
Right.
They didn't know what he was talking about. The circumcision and the uncircumcision. Let's read some more. For we say that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or in uncircumcision? Not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision. So in other words, when righteousness was reckoned to Abraham, he was uncircumcised. He hadn't received that covenant yet. So he was uncircumcised. He received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of the faith which he had, yet being uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, though they be not circumcised. Why are we even talking about circumcision if this is speaking of other races?
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with what race you are or not? This is particularly talking about circumcision.
Because the circumcision was only given to our nation, the 12 tribes.
But then it said also all the servants in Abraham's house had to be circumcised.
Right. Yeah, the servants, yeah.
So once they became circumcised, they were still under Abraham.
Yeah.
That righteousness might be imputed unto them also, and the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had being yet uncircumcised. So when Abraham was uncircumcised, the first thing he did that you brought out was he denounced his idolatry, and he sought the true Elohim. And that's how he got the Most High's attention. He did that by faith. Mm-hmm. He cast down his father's idols, broke them and burnt them. He did all that by faith.
Right.
While he was uncircumcised. I'm going to read verse 12 again. The father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, meaning what? They have to cast down their idols. They have to seek the Elohim of truth. They got to stand up to their family members. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which he had being yet uncircumcised, for the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. So Abraham was promised that he would be the heir of the world, him and his seed, right? He said that to Abraham and to all his seed, right? He gave him that land, right?
Mm-hmm.
You even read scriptures where it tell you that the whole earth was made for Israel's sake.
Right.
For the promise that he should be the heir of the world. The heir means to inherit the world, was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. For if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect. Why? Because the law was broken. Israel broke the law all the way back there in Deuteronomy. They broke it then. They constantly broke the law. They broke the Most High's covenant. But the Most High in that covenant made a promise to Abraham. And that's what we're living under today. The promise that was made to him. That's the only thing that's keeping us standing. Where if they, which are the law, like we can't even keep the law fully where we are now.
Right.
So it can't be of the law. He said, for if they, which are of the law, be heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect. Now, people think this talking about the Ten Commandments, you know, but remember, under the law, you have to do works in order to be justified for the things that we do in error. These are the things we can't do.
Right.
So the promise is made of none effect if it's of the law, because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression. Therefore, it is of faith that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed. Right? Not to that only which is of the law. Who is he talking to? Like, let's put this in our time. Who would this be talking about in our time? This wouldn't be talking about nobody. That's why I said even some of the stuff Paul wrote was for that particular dispensation of time.
Yeah.
Not to that only which is of the law, but to that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. Now, how did Cornelius know to fast and to pray and to do all of this kind of stuff if the Most High said that Israel only has he known, and that all the oracles and better yet, I put it like this: Baruch said that, happy are ye Israel, for the things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known to you. What other nation of people knew to fast to the Most High or to pray to him or to, walk upright before him? That's what Cornelius was doing. That's why the angel sent him to Peter, who was of the circumcision. Peter was he was of the circumcision.
Yeah. But Cornelius, well, being a centurion, he even could have been one of the ones guarding, and this is just a throw out there, because I don't know. But what if he was even one of the centurions that they had placed to guard the tomb of the Messiah? What I'm saying is, he had opportunity to witness the works of the Messiah. And maybe even, well, he said he did it. He did that,
So you think Cornelius was that Was that centurion?
He could have been.
I don't know. I think he may have been more so the dude. And this is not my original thought. Who was that? I think that was Brother Shofar who brought this thought out when he said that you remember when it said the
the centurion who he raised his daughter. Remember the one who said, there's not so much faith have I ever seen in all of Israel.
Yeah, that dude when he came and told him to heal his servants.
His servant. Yes, his servant. Yes. That
he was like, man, you don't even have to come, you don't even have to go. Just say the word, you know.
Right.
Now I'm not when the brother brought that idea out, I was like, you know, wasn't solidified, but it's something good to throw out there as a thought, you know. I think that's more of a connection.
Yeah. I was just trying to draw some kind of connection with him in the Messiah.
Yeah.
And him seeing all the works of the Messiah, which caused him to be paying, you know, the alms and doing good, you know, for the children of Israel, you know, for Judah.
So he said, therefore it is of fate that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed. The promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, but to that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. All right. Father of us all.
Right. And not only that, it's to all the seed. So no matter what, this is only talking about our neighbors. And those whom, you know, we must always have the include the I don't even know what you call it. You know, the believing Gentiles at the time or servants, but we're the seed.
It's like at this particular time, the focus was what the Mashiach did and confirming the covenant that was made with Abraham. And then after Mashiach did his works, he sent the gospel out. And now it's about operating in the faith of Abraham, because we're a divided people. He's not telling the Jews not to keep the law. Right? But everywhere he wrote letters where the people were scattered, he was telling them circumcision profits you nothing, you know. And you'll see that is mostly dealing with circumcision. Circumcision and the works of the law are the two main contentions that people have with Paul's writings.
And that's because many of our people, they knew that the law was you had to be circumcised on the 8th day. So no way was they going back in their older age and circumcise themselves. Go through that. It was better for them to just believe.
And that's a pattern that I noticed in Paul's writings. Whenever you read the letters that he wrote to all the scattered among the Gentiles, whenever you get to the parts where it seems like he's telling them not to keep the law, it's always the works of the law or circumcision.
And I think that was part of the Judah vexing Ephraim, or Ephraim vexing Judah. Them the the beef.
Check this out. He said, therefore it is of faith that it might be by grace to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed. The promise might be sure. Right here would have been a good place.
Right there. All the seed.
Right here would have been a good place to put the promise might be sure to all, or to all men, or to everybody.
Right.
That would have been a good place to put that. Don't you think so?
Exactly.
It says, not to that only which is of the law, but to that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all, southern and northern kingdom, as it is written, for a father of many nations have I made thee, before him whom he believed, even Elohim, who quickened the dead and calleth those things which be not as though they were. See, this is why, who quickeneth the dead and calleth those things which be not as though they were. So in other words, the Most High called the things from ancient times. He called out the end times, or he spoke from ancient times those things that had not come to pass yet, as though they had already come to pass. That's what prophecy is. And so this is the key to let us know what we need to do in order to understand everything Paul is saying about our forefather Abraham. We have to go back and look at what he established. It says, who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which was spoken. So shall thy seed be. And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. He staggered not at the promise of Elohim through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to Elohim. So this is another example of his faith, right? Because when the Most High told him he was going to have a son, at first he said, let Ishmael live before you, And so the Most High told him that Ishmael wasn't of the promise, through Isaac shall his seed be called. So Abraham believed that.
Mm-hmm.
And being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was able to perform. Right? It even tells you that when he sacrificed Isaac, that he knew that if he went through with it, that the Most High was going to raise Isaac back up from the dead, because he already promised him that his seed was going to be called through Isaac. It says, and therefore it was counted to him for righteousness. Now it was not written for his sake alone that it was imputed to him, but for us also, to whom it shall be imputed. Talking about the promise. If we believe on him that raised up Yehoshua, our Adonai, from the dead, who was delivered for our offenses and was raised again for our justification. All right. So who is Romans 4 talking about with the faith of Abraham?
You say our.
I think that's talking about the Israelites. I mean, if we look at it in context with that particular time, I always say the time that we're living in is a different dispensation of time. When the Most High told our people that we would be scattered, talking about when he would scatter Judah into the four corners of the earth, and how we would serve the gods of these nations. So we're in a different time now where we pretty much not a people at all. Like we, you know, we're citizens of whatever nation we find ourselves in. You know, you have a lot of our brothers and sisters who are in the islands, you know, the West Indies, and sadly, a lot of them believe that they're a different race of people.
And you know what? That's interesting because it still ties into the faith of Abraham, because you have to believe that we're the people. It says that he says, you know, that he is, or you have to believe that you are, and that the Most High will reward you, because being not a people without faith will cause you to wind up not a people on the wrong side.
Yep. They say, but wasn't Ishmael fathered by Abraham? Yep. I thought you were. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but we have Hebrew.
How does the passage go? It say,
Cast out the bond.
I'm paraphrasing, because they're all the seed of Abraham, you know, they're not all the chosen, you know, and Isaac shall our seed be called.
Oh, I thought it was in the church your seed be called.
Uh-huh. Yeah. They say Ishmael was born of the bondwoman and could never be a Hebrew.
Now he's a Hebrew. He just could never be of the promise.
Yeah. And Isaac shall our seed be called. So technically, Ishmael is rendered among the Gentiles. You know, America's beef with Jamaicans, yet we are the same people. Many look down on Haitians, yet we are the same people, and don't understand that. And the thing about it, some people, a lot of people take pride in that, you know, thinking that they're different. It said our people in the Caribbean believe in the church. Yeah, they believe in that tough. White Jesus, you know, they believe in that real tough.
Only difference is here now they faking like they believe that Yeshua is the black Messiah, but in their hearts they believe in white JC, in the zigzag man, in their hearts. When they pray, they concentrate as hard as they can to get that right picture in their face, in their mind.
Man, so faith cometh by hearing, hearing come by the word. Am I mistaken for believing that the faith of Abraham that Romans 4 talks about is a faith that's established on what's written in the word, what the Most High promised Abraham?
I think the faith of Abraham establishes a relationship with the Most High, not based on, it's just a relationship, and it's not based on anything he promised, but it's based on there's something inside of you that knows that you need him, or it's kind of hard to put it, I think.
Well, no, I think, like you said, the faith of Abraham, that's how Abraham established his relationship, his closeness. But then when you talk about the faith of Abraham, is this talking about just how we learn today, believing on Christ, and having the faith of Abraham, is this talking about, we read in Romans, it talked about the steps that Abraham took.
Right. That's what I'm talking about, the steps that it takes to get you there.
And so when you look at prophecy, when the prophets, the Most High through the prophets, pretty much make it clear that the nations are going to have to cleave to the Most High's people, right? Then when you tie that with the Mashiach saying he came for the lost sheep.
Yeah, because I always tell them there's an order. I said, we got to come back to the Most High through the Messiah, and they got to come through us by submitting to us. That's an order.
So Big Red. Shalom, Big Red. Yeah, so you talking about the order.
Yeah, there's an order of things.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, because you can't sidestep it. And the reason why he has it so is because we have to confess what our fathers did. It's based on what our forefathers did that got us in our predicament. And that's why they have to do that, because they have to be humbled and they have to accept. Just like he said, we got to accept our punishment. We have to confess and accept. They have to confess and accept. It's no different.
Shalom, Brother Calvin. Yeah, so you say just like we had to go through ours, they got to go through theirs, right?
Yeah.
So now,
and it's not based upon just because you never hated or you never did anything wrong to any other people and you always loved. It's not based upon that, because many of our people had that same heart. They loved, they never did anything, and they still had to go through. The Most High is not, he's fair and he's righteous.
Yeah. So let's blame them Black Americans. I mean, they did get beat to fight us to come to America, but hey, it's hey.
Yeah, and they got to get that out of them.
Yeah. Say their problem is pride. Man, if you could pride times a million power, then you probably could just be scratching the surface with them. But the faith of Abraham is tied to the steps that he took. All right. So I'm kind of like you. I'm understanding what Peter told us when he said his writings is hard to be understood, yet he vouched for the writings. And he talked about the wisdom of Paul. Right?
Yeah. But like you said, it's dispensations. No, they couldn't understand it in this time. He was telling them in their time they hard to understand.
Man. So his writings was hard to be understood, yet he was writing to the Gentiles. I think something happened to Brother Yash. He may chime back in. But in any case, I want to show y'all another video. This is a funny one right here. I want y'all to check this out. This video is dealing with, if you can see the screen, it's a ish guy, a ish dude, and then you have like a guy look like he from India, maybe, and then you have a guy here who's a Muslim, all right, and you have a Muslim, a Christian, and a quote unquote Jew, all right. Let's check this out, see what this is about.
Let me ask you a question, okay? Uncle, wait. Do you believe same God as him?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you believe same God as him?
That God is a God Almighty.
Which one? Jesus or the Father?
He's the God of Abraham,
Which
Isaac,
one?
and Jacob.
Ask him which one is the God of Abraham?
Huh?
The father of Jesus.
Jehovah God.
Is that the father
God.
or Jesus?
Huh?
Is that the father or Jesus?
Jesus.
So not the father.
Jesus.
So we don't believe in Jesus.
What
So
do you mean by
the same God as you?
What do you mean? Why do you see him separate?
Asif, yeah? Alhamdulillah, he's speaking nice, everything. You know what I've noticed from the Christian missionaries here? He's a Jewish man standing in front of you, yeah?
I know.
He believes in the Mosaic law.
I see.
He believes stoning the adultery. That is in your book. You believe that, yeah? Stoning the adultery. You believe killing the apostate. That is in your book. I never see no Christian or Islam hater coming to a Jewish man and he say, "Do you believe in this? Do you believe that?" But they come to us to test us about Islamic Sharia. So my question to Islam haters: why I don't see you going to Jewish people testing them? Where is Bob? Tell him, ask him. As you know why? Because they kiss your toes. Let me ask you a question.
All right, so in this video, you have the Muslim, the Christian, and the Jew. All right. The Muslim starts out asking the guy from India who's a Christian, do you believe the same God as him? Talking about the Jewish God. He says, yes, of course. So he asked the Jewish guy, do you believe in the same God as him? Pointing to the guy from India. And he said, no. And they start laughing. All right. Off top, showing you that there's a difference between the Christians and the Jews. A lot of Christians think that these people are the Most High's people. And then you hear a lot of other prominent Christian pastors and even people in the Christian belief who believe that these people are the Jews and vouch for them and send money to them and all kind of stuff. But you see right here, he's telling you that they don't believe in the same God as the Christians, right? But the guy who is a Christian is saying that he believes in the same God as him. So we see that there's a disconnect or misinformation going on. We see that people who are in Christianity seem to be more misled when it comes to understanding connections and how other people believe and serve. But what you think, bro?
Yeah, it's like almost seems like it's an inside joke, you know. It almost seems just like they got an inside joke, and you got to ask yourself, what is wrong with this picture? You know, they
He
have
made
more
it.
in common.
He made it sort of clear at the end, but then he went into some other things. Let me play it again. Hold on.
Okay, uncle, do you believe same God as him?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you believe same God as him?
That God is a God Almighty.
Which one? Which one? Jesus or the Father?
He's the God of Abraham,
Which
Isaac,
one? Which
and
one?
Jacob.
Ask him which one? Which one is the God of Abraham?
Huh?
The Father of Jesus?
Jehovah God.
Is that the Father or Jesus?
Huh?
Is that the Father or Jesus?
Jesus.
So not the Father.
Jesus.
We don't believe in Jesus.
What do you?
All right, so he asked him, the Christian guy started to speak. He started to talk about he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then he say the Muslim questioned him. He say which God, the Father or Jesus? Which one is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? The Father or Jesus? This is what the Muslim is asking the Christian, right? So I'm showing this to prove that a lot of the contention that we have nowadays concerning who the Mashiach is rooted in Christianity and Islam's contention with Christianity. A lot of the talking points that Muslims bring out about Mashiach, you see that a lot of our brothers and sisters in Israel come with these same talking points. And of course, the guy who's a Christian, you know, he's challenging him pretty much basically because he understands that him being a Christian and this guy being a Jew are of two different beliefs. But he's upset because he feels that those who call themselves Christians are always attacking and challenging those who call themselves Muslims, or they hate. He called them Muslim haters, right? But he said, you never challenge the so-called Jewish man on his beliefs, right? So let me run it some more.
What do you mean by what do you mean? Why do?
He also, after he asked him, the guy that's a Christian, he said that he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Muslim guy say, which God? The Father or Jesus? And the Christian guy says, Jesus. The Jewish guy responds by saying, well, we don't believe in Jesus, so we don't worship the same God. All right, I'm gonna play some more.
Why do you see him separate?
Asif, yeah? Alhamdulillah, he's speaking nice, everything. You know what I've noticed from the Christian missionaries here? He's a Jewish man standing in front of you, yeah?
I know.
He believes in the Mosaic law.
I see.
He believes stoning the adultery. That is in your book. You believe that, yeah? Stoning the adultery. You believe killing the apostate. That is in your book. I never see no.
So he said he believed in the Mosaic law, right? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, and all these different things. So in other words, they will be quote unquote Torah only, right? But they don't believe in the Mashiach. And so a lot of our brothers and sisters take on this same belief.
Yeah.
The same spirit. I'm gonna play some more.
Christian or Islam hater coming to a Jewish man and he say, you believe in this, you believe that, but they come to us to test us about Islamic Sharia. So my question to Islam haters, why I don't see you going to Jewish people testing them? Where is Bob? Tell him, ask him. As you know why? Because they kiss your toes.
He say, how come y'all, I don't see y'all challenge this Jewish man with the book? Y'all always challenging us. He called them some Islam haters. Right? And he say, how come y'all don't come and challenge this Jewish man? You know, he said basically it's because they kiss your toes. Talking to the Jewish man. And this is pretty much Christianity's mentality toward these people. He said they kiss your toes. Y'all come and challenge the Muslims, but you don't challenge them. But then this also brings up a lot of backdrop. This is the contention, religious contention among the Gentiles that we see in here. Just like in the other video. In this video, we see that the Muslim is upset because he feels like the Jewish guy gets off scot-free. He has a Bible in his hand, right? Which may not even really be a Bible, but they pose as though they live by the Mosaic law. However, they're not challenged for not believing in the Mashiach, yet the Muslims are challenged for their belief about Mashiach, that he was just a prophet. So they all in error. But the Muslim is basically saying, look, at least I believe he was a prophet and a good man, a good person, you know. But this guy don't believe in him at all, and you challenging me. What you think, Brother Yash?
Yeah, that was funny because when he said ask him, he didn't even try to ask him. He said, why? Because y'all kissed their feet. And the mindset that they teach you in Christianity is like they're hands off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't say nothing against them. See, they, through the Schofield Bible, that is, they trained Christianity that if you say anything against them, that's like to them, that's blasphemy. You say anything against them, the Most High will curse you.
They say anti-Semitic when technically they the ones that really are. You know? But I thought that was an interesting one because it's like, okay, this dude is challenging the Christian, you know, because if you see these debates sometimes, and I come across them at times, you know, they always debate Muslims and Christians. Then you'll see Muslims debating each other, you know, and a lot of different things. But I guess he feeling like, okay, look, at least give us some credit. At least, you know, give us some credit for believing that Jesus was a prophet. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that they believe.
Right. But the thing is, when it comes to the going against the ish, I mean, if they only knew what they don't believe or how they regard the Messiah.
I guess that goes back to the faith of Abraham.
Hmm.
You know, Mashiach said, before Abraham was, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I think that mean. I don't want to upset nobody. I did a video on it. Feel free to go back and check that out. But he said that for a reason. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that, when I look at the contentions that people have over Mashiach, you know, I see why he said that, made that statement. Because a lot of people don't understand. Now, I'm not speaking as though I'm some great man of understanding and knowledge. But what profit is there in being a Jew? All right.
Mm-hmm.
What profit is there of the circumcision? Much, in every way, because that unto them, chiefly unto them, were committed the oracles of the Most High. So why can't we be confident in the understanding that we know the Most High has opened us up to see?
Right.
But religious contention, you know, it's just a part of the game. If you ask me, it's a part of it. It's a lot of reasons for it. You know, zeal, pride, anger. You know, some people just want to prove to be right. You know?
Yeah. And some of it just could be that Sadducee blood in them.
Yeah.
The fallen sons of Zadok never came back to this day.
So in this, what we seeing in this video, this sums up pretty much the Gentile beliefs, the Gentile religion as we know it. You know, from a standpoint that we know it, you got Christianity, you got Islam, and you got Judaism right here in front of us.
Mm.
Watch this. I'm gonna play it again.
Let me ask you a question, okay? Uncle, wait. Do you believe same God as him?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you believe same God as him?
That God is a God Almighty.
Which one? Jesus or the Father?
He's the God of Abraham.
Which
Isaac,
one?
and Jacob.
Ask him which one is the God of Abraham?
Huh?
The Father of Jesus?
Jehovah God.
Is that the Father
God.
or Jesus?
Huh?
Is that the Father or Jesus?
Jesus.
So not the Father.
Jesus.
We don't believe in Jesus.
What
So
do
I
you
don't
mean
believe
by
the same God as you?
What do you mean? Why do you
worshipping
see him
a man.
separate?
Asif, yeah? Alhamdulillah, he's speaking nice, everything. You know what I've noticed from the Christian missionaries here? He's a Jewish man standing in front of you, yeah?
I know.
He believes in a Mosaic law.
I see.
He believes stoning the adultery. That is in your book. You believe that, yeah? Stoning the adultery. You believe killing the apostate. That is in your book. I never see no Christian or Islam hater coming to a Jewish man and he say, do you believe in this? Do you believe that? But they come to us to test us about Islamic Sharia. So my question to Islam haters, why I don't see you going to Jewish people, testing them? Where is Bob? Tell him, ask him. As you know why? Because they kiss your toes.
There it is. See, even those of Islam understand the notion of who those people are supposed to be. A lot of them know that they ain't the real people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he said what he said. Why y'all challenging us, but y'all not challenging him? He say he believe in the Mosaic law, right? But what he failed to realize is Christianity don't follow the Mosaic law. Neither do they. But that's their front.
Yeah.
Most High didn't give them the law. The law he gave to Moses was a covenant.
Right.
You know? So religious contention among the nations, the Gentiles. I guess we really shouldn't feel so bad, you know, but at the same time, it's good to look at that and realize where some of the minor contentions that we have come from. You know, I really know for a fact that a lot of the different beliefs that certain organizations have concerning Mashiach, concerning a lot of other things, is rooted in these other beliefs of people who shouldn't even be dealing with our records at all. You know, just like the belief that Joseph was the Mashiach's father. That's rooted in Islam.
Oh, yeah, right. Actually, what did Islam say? If I remember correct, they say,
Well, I'm not gonna say it's rooted in Islam, but I'm gonna say that Islam is strong in that position. We can go in the Bible and show you where it's rooted. I'm sorry, the brother keep lose the signal. But that's what I really believe that. You know, I can go back many years and look at debates of Islam with Christianity dealing with the Mashiach and his birth and his divinity and everything. And you'll see that some of the positions or pretty much all of the positions that they take, a lot of our people are taking those same positions now. But in any case, we see that the nations are contending. And if we look at their contentions, we can see and understand that their contentions aren't our contentions. Their misunderstandings shouldn't be our misunderstandings. You know, we should be on one accord as a people. You know, and it takes some time to get there. But in order to do that, we have to talk about things. We have to discuss things, you know. So I'm gonna go on and shut this down, bro. You got anything you want to add before we close down?
Nah, this was a deep discussion, and also another thing is, we have to be let's not let differences of opinion, or even if, you know, many of us, you know, we might not even believe the same way, but let's not let that divide us. We're trying to be a nation, so let's deal with each other in understanding, knowing that we've all been traumatized, and some of us are even still in these other religions like Christianity or Islam or something. But if they're sincerely asking you, not coming up to pick a fight and debate with you, but if they're sincere, then treat them with some, let's try to treat them with some love and kindness and respect and pray for them.
Amen. And that's something that, you know, I'm going to work on myself, you know. It's something we can all do better at. Understanding our condition, that we got trauma running through our blood, you know. But yeah, man, we see that the contention is not solely on us as a people, you know. Other nations of people look the same way we do. I guess we look worse, you know, in a sense, because that was 3 different beliefs, 3 different religions, and here we are with one book, and we can't find a common ground, you know, amongst our people. But at the same time, that's really not for us to stress ourselves about, because, you know, we have to have the proper guidance in that, you know. The Most High got to show us a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to read a 66 book record and think you understand a full culture from, you know, thousands of years ago. You know, you're talking about maybe 5,000 years, 4,000 or 5,000 years, when Israel first became a nation, you know, and grew into a multitude, and everything that they received as far as the law and the covenant, things that has been removed from the records, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we can fully think we have it down packed here. So it's a lot to learn for us to be open to. And, you know, if you're anything like me, man, I'm excited and grateful, you know, and hopeful that we can endure to the end, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. But on that note, I'm gonna shut it down, man, and call it a night. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. I want to say shalom and blessings to my Salt of the Earth family. Let's keep our brother Banya and brother Cleo in your prayers for healing and restoration. My hope and prayer is that the Most High keep everybody safe from the elements.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to my brother Kadar. Shout out to the brother Hal Goodwin.
Mm-hmm.
The brother Shofar over there in Jacob's People. Who else I'm missing? My brother T, my brother Smitty.
Mm-hmm. Big Red. Shout out.
Big Red. Shout out. My sisters in the chat, my sister Bornbow, Sister Rochelle, Sister Aniana Coleman. Who else we got? Got everybody in the chat, man. It's a lot of y'all.
Brother Calvin Andrews.
Yep.
Everybody.
I'm just scrolling through the chat. But yeah, what's today? Monday.
Yep.
I'm not sure if we got anything going for tomorrow. Sister Diane Gardner, Young. Yeah. Shalom. You must have came in kind of late. Shalom to you, Katrina, Sister Katrina Brown. Shalom and blessings to you. Yep. But Kingdom Conversations, Wednesday, 8 p.m. The brother Cleo. Friday night prayer and fellowship. You know how we do it with that. I'm not sure if we got a set time on that, but in any case, you know, it'll be in the evening hours, and you all will be alerted on that. So look out for that. And that's about it for now, brothers and sisters. I think I'm gonna shut it down. Try to give me some rest, and pray the Most High bless us with another day for tomorrow. You know, Most High willing. But on that note, I'm gonna say good night. May the Most High bless, keep everybody, and may He continue to lead you and guide you into His truth. You know, until we meet again, brothers and sisters. Shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Yep.